This week on Dateline Abuja, we went on a tour of impound lots run by the Directorate of Road Traffic Services, or DRTS as they are fondly called. And though we weren't allowed to record the court proceedings, we came across traffic offenders facing one of 4 judges who preside over mobile courts that try road traffic offenders. We'll show you more in our focus on the FCT. Our guest is in charge of the DRTS, and he helps us answer a few questions on the duplication of responsibilities and the legitimacy of the activities in Abuja. We will also be updating you on major stories from Nigeria's presidency. This is Dateline Abuja. Hello and welcome to Dateline Abuja. I am Kayla Megwa. Let's begin with that update. What happened this week in the Tinubu-led administration? Quite a lot, I tell you, but you can see for yourself on our Abuja wrap.
President Bola Tinubu celebrated Nigeria's Democracy Day at the Presidential Villa in a special ceremony organized by the Presidential Guards Brigade. As part of the activities marking the day, the president inspected a military parade, and in the company of several dignitaries, including governors, he watched a silent drill and band display by the military. President Bola Tinubu has signed into law the Student Loan Bill in fulfillment of a promise he made during his campaign. The federal government spokesperson, Mr. Dede Alake, who made the announcement, told the State House correspondents that the funds will be domiciled in the Ministry of Education and will only be accessed by indigent students of tertiary institutions. The Students' Loan Bill, now the Students' Loan Act, which takes effect immediately, was sponsored by the Speaker of the 9th House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, and provides for interest-free loans to indigent Nigerian students.
This is a promise made during the presidential campaign by the then candidate, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that he would bring back the issue of the student loans issue onto the front burner, and today that promise he made has been kept. He has just signed that bill into law, which henceforth will allow or enable our indigent students to access the federal government loans to fund their educational pursuit or career. And this is how it's done in other developed climes.
President Bola Tinubu is pledging his commitment to work transparently with the 10th National Assembly. The president made the pledge in a statement to congratulate Senator Godswill Akpabio when he emerged as President of the Senate and Honorable Abbas Tajuddin as Speaker of the House of Representatives. Both men later visited the president at the State House. Earlier, President Tinubu met with former President Goodluck Jonathan, who doubles as the head of the ECOWAS mediation team to Mali, the first interaction he would have as president with one of his predecessors.
I came to brief the president about some continental and subcontinental bodies. No, I'm the ECOWAS mediator for Mali, and I'm the chair of the West African Elders Forum. So there are certain issues bordering on the continent and the sub-region that I discuss with various presidents.
President Bola Tinubu has inaugurated the National Economic Council with a promise to transform the nation's fortunes and sustain the rejuvenation of the economy. The president charged the council to join forces to support his administration towards harnessing the growth potential of Nigeria. He further notes that the task of growing the economy is quite enormous and there is no excuse for failure, urging the governors to use local governments to rapidly develop infrastructure within various communities.
It is also evident that the task of growing our economy is quite enormous. But you and I ask for it, we campaign for it, we even dance for it, we beg for it. So we have no reason to complain. We must harness the growth potential of Nigeria, and you have the flexibility of using the local government to rapidly develop the infrastructure within the local government areas.
President Tinubu shortly after meets with Nigeria's former head of state, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, as more visitors arrive at the State House, including the 14th Emir of Kano and former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Sanusi Lamido. His visit is coming almost a week after the president suspended Mr. Godwin Emefiele as the governor of the Apex Bank.
I came to thank him for the steps he has taken to put this economy on course. As you know, many of the issues that we have been talking about, the subsidy that has caused a hemorrhage on the fiscus, the multiple exchange rate regimes, and so on. These are issues that I have personally been talking about for a long time. And I'm happy that on his very first day, he has addressed these issues and the markets are happy. And it is important when the government does the right thing for us to give them feedback.
The National Economic Council has set up an ad hoc committee and given them 2 weeks to look into 2 scenarios suggested by the National Salaries, Wages and Income Commission on how to alleviate the suffering faced by Nigerian workers following the removal of fuel subsidy. A statement from the Office of the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, notes that at the first NEC meeting, chaired by the Vice President after the Council's inauguration by President Bola Tinubu, the chairman of the commission, Mr. Ekbonta, suggested that the national minimum wage be reviewed to reflect the present-day realities and a cost of living adjustment allowance costing 702.9 billion naira be created to mitigate the impact of the subsidy removal on workers. The NEC also gave an update on the country's account, noting that the excess crude account stands at $473,754.56, the stabilization account at 26.6 billion naira, while the Natural Resources Fund stands at 96.9 billion naira. There was mild drama in the Red Chamber of the National Assembly as the 10th Senate was inaugurated and the Senate President elected. Following the nomination of Senator representing Akwa Ibom Northwest Senatorial District, Senator Godswill Akpabio as Senate President, the nomination of former Governor of Zamfara State, Senator Abdulaziz Yari, representing Zamfara West, resulted in a shouting match between members who argued that the latter is not a ranking member of the Red Chamber. Eventually, Senator Akpabio emerged victorious, scoring 63 votes to Senator Yari's 46, while the senator representing Kano North, Jibrin Barau, was elected Deputy Senate President unopposed.
I want to assure Mr. President that no matter what name the Senate is called, we are here to do national duties. This Senate is about Nigeria and Nigerians. And so long as the policies that come to these chambers concern the empowerment and upliftment of Nigerians, we shall dwell and deliberate and then have robust debate on them with public hearings. We will work closely with the executive arm of government whilst maintaining the normal independence of the legislature.
Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, representing Zaria Federal Constituency of Kaduna State, has been elected as the Speaker of the House of Representatives in the 10th Assembly. Dr. Tajuddin, who succeeds Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila, beat the other 2 contestants, Aminu Jaji and the former Deputy Speaker Idris Wase, by a landslide with 350 votes against Mr. Wase and Mr. Jaji, who scored 3 votes each. Honorable Benjamin Kalu, representing Bende Federal Constituency of Abia State, was also elected as a Deputy Speaker.
It's all about us coming together as a united house to serve the Nigerian people diligently. It is about honoring the trust that has been placed on us and working tirelessly to deliver on our promises of good governance and effective representation. Honorable colleagues, under my watch, the 10th House shall sustain and even surpass the gains of the 9th Assembly. That's my prayer.
The Directorate of Road Traffic Services, or DRTS, is a very busy office. We got a glimpse into the work they do this week as we followed them around to 5 impound lots in Abuja. 233 vehicles, 113 tricycles, and 153 commercial motorcycles have been seized by officers of the DRTS between May the 28th and June the 12th this year alone. The offenders are facing trials in mobile courts. In addition to ensuring proper road traffic in Abuja, the DRTS is a revenue-generating agency for the nation's capital. And as residents continue to flout traffic rules and regulations, the DRTS is well on its way to surpass their 2023 revenue target of 5 billion naira, just as it did in 2022. Please watch this. We were told this is a routine operation by the Directorate of Road Traffic Services. A look at cars, tricycles and bikes impounded between May the 29th, 2023 and June the 12th, 2023 for various traffic violations such as general license issues, improper parking, disregarding traffic signs and road markings, vehicle defects, excessive loading of vehicles and a lack of safety devices. In 2022 alone, the DRTS inspected 46,231 vehicles. 20,087 vehicles failed that inspection. 383 vehicles were involved in car accidents with 43 fatalities in 2022. The DRTS impounded a total of 991 cars, 2,731 commercial motorcycles, and 671 tricycles. With a revenue target of 4.7 billion naira, the DRTS exceeded this target, generating 4.9 billion naira in revenue from traffic violations in 2022. This tour of impound lots in the nation's capital begins with the Mabushi Recovery Unit. It has 22 impounded vehicles. Next, the team takes the media to the impound lot at AYA, which is housing 33 vehicles, 9 dispatch bikes, and 7 tricycles. At the Julius Berger Command, these 26 cars and 13 bikes were seized in just 2 days. And added to the infractions here is the fact that a lot of the dispatch riders do not have rider permits, work for unbranded businesses, and are not wearing the proper gear.
Most of the vehicles here they park illegally. They cause traffic jam, especially under Berger Bridge and on top of Berger Bridge and that's nearby. So most of them they operate in an unauthorized area.
Here at the Jabi Command, these 50 cars and 8 tricycles were seized for illegal parking and non-roadworthiness.
There's a lot of campaigns going on. We enlighten them on how to use the roads. These vehicles are like their homes. You should know how if your house is leaking, you know how it's leaking. Some of them, this is where they earn their living. You should know that you should keep what you're earning your living good. Not for you, but for the other road users.
The tour ends at the Wuye Command, which has in its impound 135 cars, 2 dispatch motorcycles, 153 commercial bikes, and 98 tricycles. The lot also has a mobile court, and while we're not allowed to film the proceedings, these traffic defaulters are being processed before they stand trial. The transport unions in Abuja are also present to give support to their members standing trial. They have an urgent appeal to the FCT administration.
Some of my members, I got a call that some of them were arrested, and their messenger have to come and intervene for them. So that's why we are here. Some of them were illegal parking, and I have over 19 of them here that I came to intervene for.
In the normal circumstances, what we are is illegal. We have to confess that it's illegal because that place is not garage. And really, there's no garage in Abuja. There's no bus stop in Abuja also. And there's nowhere we can at least park to get our daily bread if it is not that place. But we lack of organize. We don't organize within ourselves. So actually where they came to us, they have to apprehend us because we are not organized. And that is why we are here. And most of our cars have been here for over 2 weeks. And that is why we are here. So we are pleading for the government to also look into it.
So far, there have been 64 convictions from traffic violations by the DRTS in 2023 alone. The directorate is 1,123 staff strong with 9 divisions and 10 special units. And they say these operations will continue for the foreseeable future. Residents of the nation's capital are urged to adhere to the laid-down traffic regulations and ensure they have the proper documentation to drive in Abuja, whether in private or commercial capacities. My guest on the program is Dr. Abdulateef Bello, the Director, FCT Directorate of Road Traffic Services, DRTS. We picked his brain on the legitimacy of the activities following the ruling of a court in Delta State, outlawing the activities on the roads. We talked about the accusations on the duplication of job functions with the Federal Road Safety Corps and what plans they have for Abuja's residents as the year continues to unfold. Please watch this. Dr. Abdulateef Bello, welcome to Dateline Abuja.
My pleasure.
We had a fantastic time with your team and it was very eye-opening. I think one of the first things that I realized was that the VIO is just a department under the DRTS. So talk to us a bit about this structure. The DRTS, what does it comprise of, and what do Nigerians, especially those who live in the nation's capital, what do they need to understand about the work that you do?
Okay, the DRTS is a creation of Cap 548, the Federal Republic Nigeria law, and it simply mandated us to conduct general, motor vehicle administration and traffic management and control. So within the ambit of motor vehicle administration, we do registration and deregistration of motor vehicles, licensing, inspection of motor vehicles, and then roadworthiness check. So the traffic management aspect gives us the mandate to organize a seamless traffic flow in the city and then to actually find all traffic infringements. So
let's talk about the biggest elephants in the room. There are two. There are two very big elephants. One of them is the fact that many people believe that the DRTS and the vehicle inspection officers, that's the VIO, they believe this is a duplication of jobs. There's the Federal Road Safety Corps, and there are so many other agencies that ensure that our roads are good enough for people to drive on, and that the cars on the road are responsible and the drivers themselves are responsible. Do you think this is a duplication of jobs? What kind of explanation do you give to people when they come up with that particular question?
Yeah, obviously, since I resumed office as the director of DRTS last year, and I've been confronted with, similar questions. What is the difference? Why do we have to, what do we do differently from what the road safety do? And where is the line, dividing line, and where is the convergence and all that? But I've always made people to understand that motor vehicle administration and traffic management is the responsibility of state. It's a residual matter. The federal road safety is supposed to maintain trunk A, the one that you call federal roads. But I wouldn't want to go into too much details of why we now have this convergence of responsibilities. But I think embedded in the intention is revenue. But all the same, I am a person that believes in an institutional cooperation or collaboration or corporate collaboration. So I don't believe that, we should overemphasize, who should do what or be, over-territorial. Well, I think if we work together, if we have synergy, the objective is very clear, is to establish sanity on our roads.
The second elephant in the room has to do with this court case in Delta State. And there are many people who believe that there is, the VIO especially, that's the department under the DRTS,
yes,
have no business on the roads, have no business checking people's particulars. What's the explanation you have about that? What about this dynamic don't we understand? Because we see them here in Abuja. In fact, right now, there's a lot of you on the road.
Exactly, yeah.
So explain to us what's really going on with this matter.
Yeah.
Should you be on the roads or not?
Whether, we have right to be on the road or not, like I said, is a state decision.
Is there a court order saying you shouldn't be on the roads?
No, I think that court order was applicable to Delta State. Because, like I said, motor vehicle administration and traffic management is a state matter. And each
so
state,
that court order is applicable to Delta State, but not to the FCT?
No, not at all. It does not cross, the state, boundary, because our own regulation is different from other states. I think, to me, we will have to go beyond motor inspection on the road when we embrace full technology. It's a matter of transition. I don't think it's a matter of law.
I've actually heard you say this before.
Yes.
Are you saying that if the technology that is required to be able to check cars by just looking at their numbers,
yes,
if that exists, we would not need DRTS on the roads? Is that what you're saying?
We will not need many of our men, unless those that are working to recover the road. When I mean recovering the road means that if there are accidents, there are men that will be on the road, to make sure that they evacuate and free the road, for other road users.
How do you ensure enforcement?
Of course, you have to renew your vehicle yearly. Now you have to approach us to renew. And the details of your infringements, your billings are all there.
So when you come for a renewal,
yes, of course, we'll advise
we'll
you.
be able to say,
yes,
look,
or we'll take our money, or we'll take our money and give you the balance and still ask you to pay for, renewals.
What necessitated it?
There are areas definitely that we don't have rights, especially when you talk about penalties. It's the responsibility of the court, to actually, penalize. So that is why all we just do is that once your conduct is beyond the normal regular fines, we make you to face the mobile court.
In the FCT, what would you say traffic infringements are the worst in Abuja?
If you look at Area 1.
Area 1?
Yes, Area 1. And then Usebega, AYA, and then Maitama by Banex in the Federal Capital City. These are very critical, red flag areas. Before
we let you go, just a word to the driver in the FCT, and not just commercial drivers, even regular people.
I think the most important thing, like I always say, wherever forum I'm invited to talk to the public, I always advise that it's good to be on the side of law because it's cheaper. Honestly, it's cheaper. Most of those people that were, arrested or their vehicles impounded, before they will get out of that place, nobody will pay less than 50,000. I'm not sure there is any fine that will be less than 50,000. And some of those vehicles may never go back. So why don't we just obey the simple traffic regulation? We are not supposed to park and pick from here. Don't do that. We are not supposed to drive against traffic. A lot of people keep driving against traffic. And then it's difficult for us to track them because we are dealing with something that is mobile. In most cases, our people used to pursue them. But for advice, don't pursue. Just pick their number and we'll wait. So we're just waiting for technology to, come in so that we can actually handle some of these infractions in the city, properly.
Well, I want to thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
For being with us on Dateline Abuja, and good luck with all the work that you do.
Thank you so much. My pleasure to be here.
Thanks to my guest and to everyone who spoke to us today on the program. Doing the right thing is just cheaper. On our way back from the Impound lot visits, it became so clear to me how unruly many drivers in the nation's capital are, both commercial and private. Let's not even go into the dispatch riders and tricycle riders problem. As we saw in the report, many of them do not have riders' permits, and yet here they are, driving recklessly across Abuja. These drivers put their lives and the lives of others in danger. In truth, they should be taken off the roads as a matter of public safety. Dr. Bello believes a state of emergency should be declared on driving in the nation's capital. There are so many trainings and workshops sensitizing drivers, especially the commercial ones, on the right driving practice for the nation's capital. But the infractions continue. So much so that in 2022, the DRTS surpassed its revenue target, generating over 4.9 billion naira in fines from traffic violations. This year, the target is 5 billion naira, and they believe with the things that are going on right now, they will surpass this target. The directorate wants residents to know they do not see or have access to these monies as they go directly to the FCT accounts. One thing is clear though, the more careful and law-abiding drivers are in the nation's capital, the less money they make. Let's make sure they make as little money as possible this year. That's Dateline Abuja this week. Please let us know the happenings in your neighborhood using the social media handles showing right now on your screens. Thank you so much for watching. I am Kayla Megwa. See you next time.